The A-class name has been around since 1998. The original was boxy, mega practical, but some will remember it rolling over during a swerve test. For 2012, the A-class takes a step in a totally different direction. It's a sporty, low-profile hatchback to rival the BMW 1 Series and Audi A3. We'll be judging it on driving performance, comfort and practicality, and cost of ownership to see if the A-class is really an A-star car. From launch, there's 4 diesels and 3 petrol engines available. Now the one we're driving is the range-topping diesel, which is the A220 CDI. In terms of performance, it's not the most rapid feeling of diesels we've ever driven, but the gearbox is nice and smooth. There's no surging or lunging between gear changes. It's a nice, comfortable kind of collaboration of engine and gearbox. We do have to point out though that the engine is quite noisy. It does sound quite agricultural. There is a lot of diesel rumble there. The steering itself is nice and responsive, although there is a little bit of play at the centre point of steering before any angle goes onto the wheels. We've already put the A-class through our avoidance manoeuvre test back at the lab, and it performed adequately. There was a little bit of understeer, but ESC kicked in to keep everything in control. The A-class is a safe car in the Benz. Getting in and out isn't as easy as you might think because of this low roofline and the low seating position. Rearward visibility is limited by a very small rear window and the side windows are very shallow. We'd recommend going for the parking sensors or reversing camera options to help with parking. We really like the dashboard design. It is beautifully finished and it gives a feeling of a lot more space, a lot more leg room. We like the screen. It's mounted nice and high so you don't have to look away from the road too much when you're glancing at it. What we don't like is the air conditioning controls. They're way too low down. Seated in the front, there's plenty of headroom and legroom for taller occupants. The cabin is nice and wide too. There's plenty of support from the seats and the backrests are nice and high. It doesn't feel quite as roomy in the back though. The roofline's low and these windows are so small it feels quite claustrophobic, especially if you've got a black interior like this one. And the seats could offer a bit more thigh support. Boot space is pretty woeful. At 245 litres of measured space, it's less than a Ford Fiesta Super Mini. This loading lip as well, that's quite high up, so if you're lifting heavier objects into the back, you've got to think about that. And because it's got these wraparound tail lights, this door aperture is actually quite narrow, so it'd be quite difficult to get anything quite wide in. The model we're driving has got the optional sport suspension fitted, and it is rock hard. You feel every single speed bump and pothole driving this car. In terms of interior noise, Mercedes has managed to cut wind noise by redesigning the underside of the car. However, there is quite a bit of road noise, and this, along with the loud engine noise we were talking about before, could make longer journeys more tedious. The cheapest to buy is the A180 petrol, starting from £19,000. This might sound expensive, but it's very similar to the starting prices of the A3 and 1 Series, the biggest competition for this car. We expect the biggest seller to be the A180 CDI diesel, which returns 98 grams per kilometre of CO2, meaning free car tax. This model is also supposed to be the most fuel efficient. However, our test results found it returned 10 miles to the gallon short of this claimed figure. We're surprised we don't like the A-class more. The looks are unique and the quality of finish is sublime. but the ride is way too firm even without the sports suspension, and all-round visibility is fairly shocking. We happen to have one of the A-Class's closest rivals, the latest Audi A3, with us today, and it offers a much more potent engine lineup than the Mercedes, and like the BMW 1 Series, is a bit more enjoyable to drive. But once you look past the flashy styling of the A-Class, the A3 and 1 Series offer better value for money. To read full reviews of all three cars, click on one of the links below.